Hi guys, and welcome to Blind Man Plays. I'm Jared Walters, and I am absolutely ecstatic, excited and just thrilled at your guys' reaction to the Atari Jaguar emulation video I put out. You've made this Welshman very, very happy. It's lovely to see some comments. It's nice to see you guys talking amongst yourselves, offering feedback, and just, this is great, this is fantastic. Today's video is a suggestion from one of those comments. The suggestion was from William. Thank you, William, for your suggestion, and it was to do a video on CDI emulation. So I've never played a CDI before, so let's have a look at some CDI emulation. Right, a bit of background. First of all, the CDI was created by Phillips. Now, there were several models in existence designed to show off the capability of CDs when they came out around about the time of the 1990s, the early 1990s. The CDI came out in 1991 and mostly came with a lot of educational content, encyclopedia stuff, that sort of thing. But it did come up with some games as well. So we're going to take a look at some of those games later. But we're going to have a look at the emulation first. So the emulation that we're going to use is through LAUNCHBOX and RETROARCH. Now, RETROARCH is a brilliant piece of kit that allows you to emulate a whole range of different hardware. I've used RETROARCH quite a lot. It's very, very easy to use, and the fact that it incorporates so well with LAUNCHBOX just makes this process quite easy. Now, you're going to need a couple of things. So you're going to need a copy of RETROARCH. You're going to need a copy of LAUNCHBOX. Now, you can go to the respective websites to download them. I'm basically going to assume that this setup is already, you've already got this setup like I did with the Jaguar. But if you want me to do more tutorials on how to set up LAUNCHBOX and RETROARCH, then it is fairly easy to do. I will allude to some of the things that I've used on my own setup here. You're also going to need 3 BIOS files. I'll put a link to the description below that actually tells you the BIOSes that you actually need and the ones that are going to work. RETROARCH basically uses cores. Now, if you've got like one big emulator, and it uses several small little compartments then that represent different systems, and the core that we're using today is same CDI. So basically what we want to do first of all is we want to open up LAUNCHBOX, and we want to go to Tools, Manage Emulators, and we want to update RETROARCH. So we want to you can see what I'm doing it on screen now. So you can actually update RETROARCH directly from LAUNCHBOX, which is the way I do it. You can do it within RETROARCH itself, but it's just easier for me to do it this way. Once you've updated RETROARCH, that means that you've got most of the most up-to-date cores, or access to the most up-to-date cores. You want to then get your BIOS files. Now, I've got my BIOS files here. Once you've got these 3 BIOS files, what you need to do is you need to go to the RETROARCH folder, wherever your RETROARCH folder is. Then you need to go to System, and in the System folder you need to create a folder which says same, which is SAME underscore CDI. Inside that folder you need to create another folder called BIOS, and you need to put your BIOS files in there. Once you've done that, you can then take your ROMs, select them, and drop them into LAUNCHBOX. That will then activate the LAUNCHBOX manager. Sometimes it will detect whether it's actually adding a CDI. If the if it's wrong, then basically you need to select, like I have here. Like in my box, I've got Nintendo Entertainment System. I'm not adding Nintendo ROMs, so I need to click the drop down box and I need to go to Phillips CDI and then click next. Now I need to select an emulator, which is going to be RETROARCH, and I need to select a core for that emulator. So I want to go down and I'm looking for, I just pressed S and it came up with same CDI. You click that. That should set all the values and things for you. Use files in their current location. I don't want to move them into the LAUNCHBOX location because I've already done that. Search for games, folders and pictures, etc. And then just click next. It'll then search for all the data. It'll tell you what data it's going to search for through Emmy Movies, etc. if you've got that installed. I always look for PDF manuals and combine discs of the same name. Click next. That should give you all the files there that it's going to import into LAUNCHBOX, and just wait for it to import. And once that's done, you will have a new tab on the left hand side saying Phillips CDI. Click it, and there you go. You should have the ROMs basically installed. So what you want to do then is you want to test it. So click a game. I think we've got Tetris here. Click play. Now one of the weird things that's been happening with mine, for some reason, I don't know why my RETROARCH is doing this, but when it loads the game, it pauses. So I've always got to go to the menu. You see there's a pause sign there. I've just got to press F1 to bring up the menu and just click resume, and that will then take me to the, or I'll click restart or resume, whichever, and that will boot up the ROM perfectly then. So you'll have a blue screen like this for a little while. The resolution isn't that great. You are kind of playing in a bit of a letterbox, but what do you expect? We're playing something that came out 30 years ago now, 31 years ago. So you click the play button, and there you go. You've got your CDI opening Philips Interactive Media, and there you go. There's your game. There's one thing worth noting. Now, some of the CDI games required an extra bit of hardware. It was like a video adapter, especially games that were full motion video heavy. Unfortunately, there's no way to emulate this that I can find at this present moment in time. As far as I can tell, whilst looking online through different forums and things, there is actually no way of emulating the video adapter, so some of the games are just not going to work. But the vast majority of the games do work. I just want to say thank you to everyone who has interacted with the channel so far. The views that I've gotten on some of these videos have been absolutely overwhelming, and they might not look like much to some, but for me, who've just started this channel as a way of self-healing and exploring a topic which I'm extremely passionate about and getting more passionate about by the day, this has been overwhelming, guys, and thank you so much. I am now uploading every Wednesday and Sunday, so I will have new videos around 8 PM every Wednesday or Sunday. I'm going to try and stick to 8 PM. It might be slightly before or slightly after. Every Wednesday and a Sunday at 8 PM I'm going to be putting new videos out for you guys to watch. And this coming Sunday, if you enjoyed the CDI video, I've got a special treat for you guys. Something I have discovered along this journey which I found absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys. That's coming this Sunday at 8 PM on this channel, and there'll be a couple of freebies involved in there. Not from me, but some freebies that I found that everyone can enjoy, and I found absolutely amazing and brilliant to explore. While you're here, why don't you check out some Atari Jaguar emulation, or check out some Sonic the Hedgehog games that you might not have played, or even check out my series adaptation which is games based on TV shows, movies, and a whole plethora of other things. I have done 4 episodes so far, covering the PlayStation and the Game Boy Advance. Again, if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing and dropping a like on this video. I'd like to reach 100 subscribers by the end of January. You guys can help me do that if you really enjoy this content. Take care of yourselves, and now let's play some CDI games. So as we got it on screen now, let's take a look at Tetris. So you set your parameters, and once you've done that, I'm just going to go with the basics, you play the game. The difference is with this is it does show a screen every level. Now I found the controls really hard to get into, and this is, you gotta see this now, this is the worst ever game of Tetris that you'll see any. I'm better than this Tetris, honestly, I promise you. But again, another thing to say, that the controls basically worked straight out the box. As long as you got RETROARCH set up with the control system that you want to use, it'll basically sort of feed in from that. But the button combination I just couldn't get used to for some reason. So I've absolutely botched this level of Tetris. It's proper zen, to be perfectly honest with you. You're sitting there, it's got some sort of like meditation music going on, and it's beautiful scenery from around the world. You're just kind of playing Tetris, and you know, as a version of Tetris goes, it's okay. I do find this a bit laggy when it comes to, like, you know, having to change the position of the blocks, and they only change in one direction. I know in some versions of Tetris you can change them, like, you can rotate them right to the right or to the left. It's Tetris at the end of the day. As you can tell with this version, I have absolutely botched this game. And it's only getting worse. Yeah, and basically by this point I've just given up, and we're gonna start again. But yeah, it's basically Tetris as we love it, and it's just got a bit of nice sort of meditation music in the background, nice calming music, nice chill out music in the background, and some beautiful scenery. And as you go up in level, you'll find that the scenery changes, and yeah, there's not a lot more I can say about this really. It's Tetris.
Don't you just love what we've done with the room?
Listen, Margaret, I expect you to treat Massa with respect.
Although, you know, I think maybe the yellow would have been better.
And I had things in this room that meant a lot to me, and I want them back. Now. Is that clear?
Well, I suppose we could have some of the help rummage about in the basement, but I don't think we've saved very much.
Voyeur, don't get caught. This is an adult protected game, so I don't know if it's got explicit content in this game, or if it's just the actual precedent of the game. But you're basically, I don't know whether you're a detective or kind of a spy or something, but it's very Alfred Hitchcock, and it's one of those games that quite a unique experience to play, because it makes you feel really, really uneasy. It very much reminds me of the Alfred Hitchcock film Rear Window, where you're kind of got a camera in your apartment and you know something shady's going down. Now you get a call basically saying the fate of the country's at risk, and you've got to there's also certain people that are at risk that you're watching, a part of this family, and that you could warn the family if you wanted to. But you've got to be careful because there's something really nefarious going on, and you basically control the camera, and you're looking in certain windows, and certain scenes play out at certain times of day. I I didn't get too far through this because my emulator actually crashed, so I don't know if there's an issue with the ROM here or if it was just my PC having a bad day. But this was, I don't know, this was kind of creepy, to be honest. It was weird. It made me feel, I don't know, it sort of put me in a very strange place as a player. But also, I kind of wanted to continue because I wanted to know what was going on. There is like some implied sexual content going on, like you can hear a couple having sex behind like a curtain. I don't know how explicit it gets. As I said, I didn't get too far into the game. The acting is passable. It's not terrible, but it definitely got that sort of vibe about it. It's definitely got that kind of Hitchcock vibe about it. And it's like, it's really sort of psychologically a bit sort of taxing, to be honest with you. But it's also like, I want to know what's going on. Because you can watch a scene play out, and then it's like, when you come back later, you see some tablets that have been like emptied on the bed. There's also a scene that happens downstairs by the front door, and there's like poison that's been left behind and things like that. So it's like you're trying to look for clues and piece together what's happening, and it's like it's a really interesting concept for a game, but just like I really want to know what's happening, to be perfectly honest with you. So this might be one I possibly come back to if I'm going to explore, like, you know, games that have like a bit of a psychological horror twist to them, because this is what it kind of is. It's got that kind of like psychological horror vibe, if that makes sense. You know, like a murder or something is going to take place, so you know that something bad is going to happen, but you don't know what's going to happen or what's lying behind the next window that you click on, and what scenes are going to play out.
The bond between parent and child is most powerful, but you must not let it interfere with the path we have chosen.
Zelda, Duke Onkled is under attack by the evil forces of Ganon. I'm going to Gamelon to aid him.
But Father, what if something happens to you?
I'll take the Triforce of Courage to protect me. If you don't hear from me in a month, send Link.
Impa? Don't worry, Zelda. The Triforce of Wisdom promises the king will safely return.
Enough. My ship sails in the morning. I wonder what's for dinner.
Oh boy! I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok!
This is Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon. Now, I know that there was some sort of arrangement between Nintendo that the CDI could actually publish some Nintendo licensed games. So this is basically a Zelda game. This particular one, you play as Princess Zelda, I believe. That the king has gone off to fight Ganon. I think it's Ganon, is it? The enemy. He goes off, and then she sends Link off to, because he's not returned, and eventually she goes herself. As a game, it's god-awful. I'm sorry, but it is. The hit detection is terrible. You've basically got a duck, and when you're using your sword to fight off some of the enemies, the graphics are grainy and uninteresting. To be honest with you, this is one that I would basically say to give a miss. You know, I basically got past the first couple of screens and I was already bored. This is not a game I really want to be investing a lot of my time in. This is Zelda's Adventure. Now, you start off basically in a giant tower in space. And some weird elder surrounded by crystals is writing stuff in a book, and It basically gives you like a necklace or something, and you are then in a stone circle, and basically this is more like your traditional Zelda game. The graphics they're not awful, but they're not great either, if that makes sense. It's like, I can see what they're trying to do here, and it kind of does have that sort of more photorealistic element to it, but the way in which Zelda moves throughout the frame is just a bit weird, and it's like you eventually get a sword and you can attack enemies, but she gets killed like really quickly, and like to actually get anywhere in the game it's nigh on impossible, and there's just not enough here to keep me occupied or keep me wanting to come back. I just feel a bit like, nah. Right, this is Striker Pro. Shall we see if I am any good at this football game? Those of you who follow the channel will know I did a video recently called Football Games, Retro Football Games I was just too blind to play. Is this going to be another retro football game I am just too blind to play? Let's take a look. So, first of all, it's fairly basic. You've got your World Cup, you've got your World League, you've got your different teams. There's quite an array of teams here. I can actually play as Wales, because I'm a Welshman. And I'm going to play someone that Wales back in the early 90s could have beat. Hey, we got to the World Cup, and we did quite really well in the World Cup. So, you know, I'm not dissing Wales. Wales' football team is not like something to be dissed anymore. You know, we've done our graft. But back in these days, you know, it was more of a laughing stock, unfortunately. But, is this game a laughing stock? Well, the controls are terrible. The game is extremely laggy. We've basically got one button that you can use that does everything. The other buttons just take you to like the title screen. There's like no coordination with the players on the field. This is a bad football game. This is a bad football game, sadly. You know, you can see when there's a goal that's scored where the opponent just kicks it randomly out like half at the pitch, and it just kind of rolls into the goal. It's like, oh, okay. Unfortunately, the other football game I found on the system requires the video card, so I can't test that. But yeah, this is one to give a miss, sadly.
Those heads. These are the faces of evil. You must conquer each. I guess I'd better get going. Here is the map. Where do you wish to go?
This is Link, the Faces of Evil. So basically, this is a side-scrolling affair. You have to go around and destroy the faces of evil, I believe. There's a full motion video that kind of encapsulates more of it, what it's kind of all about. But essentially, Link is sent on a mission to save the land, essentially, and defeat the evil that's rising. It's a side-scrolling platformer. It's, again, not the best. It's better than the other two. I could probably play this for a bit longer. But to be perfectly honest with you, you know, after I've played a couple of stages, I think I'd had my fill. As a curiosity, it's worth a go. But like, the only annoying thing is up is jump, which is the same for most of these games on this system, sadly, and probably due to the controllers that especially the early versions of the CDI had. But not a particularly bad game, not a particularly good game either. But I would say, if you are a Zelda fan and you want to check out a Zelda game on this system, then this is probably the best out of the three. This is Micro Machines. Now, it's basically a port of the same Micro Machines you've seen on other systems. It was on the NES, the Master System, the Genesis. The fact that this is slightly slower, I find advantageous, because of the fact that it means I'm a little bit better at it. And I enjoyed it better than the other ones, to be honest with you. I actually prefer the speed of this. I found the other ones to be a bit too fast. Maybe that's down to my visual impairment and the fact that the slower courses were a little bit easier for me to control and a bit more forgiving than, say, the other versions. But you know, it's Micro Machines basically. It plays very similar to how it plays on other platforms. If you've played Micro Machines on any of the retro platforms back in the day, then it's basically the same thing. You've got, you know, your bathtub stage, your desk stage, your breakfast stage. You know, I enjoyed this. I actually had quite a lot of fun with this, and I didn't suck too bad until about the third stage, where I really did suck. And as you guys know, I'm not the best at driving games, but yeah, this wasn't too bad. This wasn't too bad. And finally, the last game that I'm going to showcase today is Lemmings. Now, I love the Lemmings games. I showcased the Lemmings Christmas special in my Christmas video that I put out recently, and there's just something about the old Lemmings games. This is basically a direct port of the original Lemmings, where you have to guide the little critters home by giving them different jobs and different tasks. I just kind of played the first couple of levels on screen, because if I got into a Lemmings session, I'd probably still be playing it. It's one of those games I really enjoy. I find addictive. It came out on basically every platform, but I was an adopter of it on the Amiga, to be perfectly honest. That was the computer of choice, because I could use a mouse. But it works really well with the joypad. You wouldn't think it would, but it does. You know, and if you've basically got a physical system and you want a physical way of playing Lemmings, then I would definitely recommend it. It is. I like the sound quality. The sound quality is really good. The graphics quality is really good. This is a very good port of Lemmings. It is. So I thought I'd leave it on a positive note. So guys, that is the Phillips CDI. That is how you emulate it. That is how you basically get it working, and that's some of the games. What did you think? I might do a few further emulation videos moving forward in the next couple of weeks. I'm thinking possibly the 3DO, because I've never experienced the 3DO before, and I think that's the only way you can really get to experience it now is through emulation. But let me know what you guys would want me to do in the comment section below. What was your experience using RETROARCH and aince CDI? Let us know in the comment section below. And my name is Jared Walters. I am the Blind Gamer. Thank you very much for all your support over the last couple of months. I love you all. You're absolute bloody legends. Take care of yourselves.